My little brother dropped a message in the family group chat Friday night. Don't come to the BBQ this weekend. My new wife says, you stink up the whole party. Mom and dad spammed heart reactions like it was a joke. I typed one word back. Got it. I'm Palmer Whitlock, 35, Executive VP of Engineering at Nexara Biolabs in Raleigh, North Carolina, the company about to launch a medical device worth billions. My family still thinks I'm the weird sister who works in some lab and probably lives paycheck to paycheck. I shut my phone, set it face down, and kept signing off on contracts that could buy our parents' neighborhood twice over. When people tell me I'm not wanted, I don't beg or explain. I let them find out the hard way. If you've ever been treated like the family joke, hit like and subscribe with notifications on. You won't want to miss what happened the next morning when she screamed loud enough for the whole floor to hear. Saturday morning, 9:17 a.m., Blair paged me. Palmer, there's a woman downstairs who insists she needs to speak to whoever handles Angel Investments. She won't give her name and says it's urgent. Her husband is with her. I told Blair to send them up. The glass doors opened exactly 1 minute and 53 seconds later. Tegan walked in first. Red bodycon dress, oversized sunglasses pushed into her hair like she was on her way to film a music video. Gage followed, hands in his pockets, eyes on the floor. They both froze when they saw me behind the desk. Tegan's sunglasses slipped from her fingers and hit the marble with a sharp clack. Palmer. The name came out strangled. Her eyes darted from my face to the polished brass nameplate, then to the giant Nexara Biolabs logo filling the back wall. You work here? Gage looked like he'd been punched. I stayed seated, fingers on the desk, voice flat. Executive VP of Engineering. What do you two want? Tegan recovered instantly, shock flipping into the brightest, fakest smile I'd seen. She strutted forward and dropped a thick, glossy pitch deck on my desk like it was scripted. Oh my God. This is literally perfect, she squealed, clapping. I'm raising for my medical diagnostic startup, next-gen point-of-care testing. Total game changer. We need $2 million to push through FDA clearance. You're literally in the industry. You can write the check today. Gage finally spoke, nodding hard. Yeah, sis. It's a slam dunk. Family looks out for family, right? I didn't touch the deck. You showed up at my job with no appointment on the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend to ask for $2 million. Tegan didn't blink. Exactly. Blood is thicker than water, Palmer. I looked her dead in the eyes. No. The smile vanished. What do you mean, no? She snapped, voice higher. You're seriously telling your own brother no? Gage stepped forward. Palmer, come on. This could set us up for life. I repeated slowly. Leave now. The open plan floor outside my glass walls had gone silent. Every engineer within 50 feet suddenly found their second monitor fascinating. Tegan's face matched her dress. Are you kidding me right now? She shouted. You sit up here in your fancy corner office making millions, and you won't help your own flesh and blood. She turned to the glass so everyone could hear. This is why nobody wants you around. You're jealous that Gage finally has a real partner, and all you have is this cold, pathetic job security. 2 security guards in black polos appeared at my door before I said anything. Ma'am, you need to lower your voice and exit the building, the taller one said. Tegan spun on him. Do you even know who she is? That's her brother, Gage said, grabbing her wrist. Tegan, let's just go. She ripped away. No, she doesn't get to treat us like garbage. The guards closed in. One had the elevator held open. Gage glanced back at me with wide, betrayed eyes. You're really picking this place over us, he muttered as they were led into the hallway. She was still screaming about lawsuits, and you'll regret this, he called as the doors sealed. Blair came back after they left. Your brother's wife is a special kind of special, she said. I flipped the pitch deck open just long enough to see the cover. Tegan Ashford, CEO and founder. Gage wasn't mentioned. I fed the whole thing into the shredder and watched the ribbons curl. My phone started buzzing before the elevator hit the garage. The first call from Gage came before I even poured coffee. I let it ring. He called again and again. On the 5th, I picked up. What do you want, Gage? His voice cracked with fury. Do you have any clue how humiliated Tegan is right now? She's sitting in the car crying because of you. I stayed silent. You couldn't give us 5 minutes. You called security like we're trash in front of your entire company. Still nothing from me. You're heartless, Palmer. You always have been. I took a slow sip of coffee. Anything else? He hung up. 10 minutes later, texts rolled through. Gage, you just killed our future. Tegan hasn't stopped crying. Hope that big office keeps you warm at night. I muted the thread and opened my Wells Fargo app. A notification popped up. Pre-approval alert. 480,000 personal loan. Co-signer, Palmer Whitlock. Primary borrower, Gage Whitlock. Secondary borrower, Tegan Ashford Whitlock. They had filed the application at 2:14 a.m., using my social security number, old pay stubs I'd left at Mom's years ago, my exact salary from public SEC filings, and my current address. The bank had soft approved it pending review. I called Mark, my Wells Fargo relationship manager. Mark, there's a $480,000 personal loan in my name. Kill it. He pulled it instantly. Co-signer listed as you. You want a hard denial and a fraud flag? Hard deny, fraud flag, and freeze any new applications with my info for 90 days. Done. A confirmation email arrived at 10:04 a.m. Status permanently denied. Reason, co-signer withdrawal and suspected identity fraud. I forwarded the PDF to Gage with no caption. He called immediately. I declined. He called again. Declined. Then Tegan's number lit up my screen. I answered. You think you're so clever, don't you? She spat. Blocking our loan like a child. You used my identity without permission. It's called family support, she snarled. You clearly wouldn't know about that. You forged my signature on a legal document. Oh, please, you make millions. $480 pocket change to you. Her laugh was cold. I noticed fraud just fine. Keep playing the poor victim. I'm telling Mom and Dad exactly what kind of selfish, greedy daughter they raised. By the time I'm finished, you'll be persona non grata at every family event for the rest of your life. Do it, I said. Start with how you tried to steal $500,000 using my name. There was a full 3 seconds of dead air. She hissed, You'll regret this. I promise you. Then she hung up. I set the phone down and looked out the window toward downtown Raleigh. At 10:27, the family group chat lit up. Mom Palmer, did you really embarrass your brother and Tegan at your office, Mom? This is not how we raised you, Gage. She called security on us over money. I ignored every message. By noon, Tegan had posted a long, tearful Instagram story about toxic relatives who only care about money and titles, including a shaky video of the Nixara building with captions about being betrayed by your own blood. She tagged the company account. Blair screenshotted it and sent it to legal immediately. I told legal to pause action for now. At 12:43 p.m., another Wells Fargo alert arrived. New joint credit card application submitted. My name and Gage's. Requested limit, $50,000. I called Mark again. He shut it down before processing completed. I spent the next hour pulling credit reports from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, placing 7-year fraud alerts, freezing my credit with every bureau, and notifying every lender I've ever used that any application without direct verbal confirmation must be denied immediately. When I finally stopped, I leaned back and stared at the ceiling. They wouldn't stop. That was obvious now. A thick brown envelope appeared on my doorstep that evening. No return address, no courier label, just my name typed plainly. I brought it inside, set it on the kitchen island, and opened it with a steak knife. 42 pages slid out, clipped together. The cover read, Private Investigation Report. Subject, Tegan Ashford. Prepared for anonymous client. Date May 24th. Dad's handwriting was on a small note tucked inside. I pulled it out first. Written on the back of an old power bill in shaky blue ink, I've been suspicious for a long time but didn't know how to bring it up. If you can handle this, please do. I'm sorry. Dad. I sat down and began reading. Page 1. Summary. Tegan Ashford, 27, married Gage Whitlock in December 2023. Previous marriage, Maverick Whitaker, 2021-2022, ended after a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Pages 2 to 12, bankruptcy records. Tegan had convinced Maverick to max out 8 credit cards for inventory for a beauty startup that never launched. Total debt, $210,000. Maverick lost his Buckhead house, his truck, and his credit dropped to $480,000. Tegan walked away with a settlement covering her legal fees and left him with all remaining debt. Pages 13 to 20, current credit report, pulled yesterday. Tegan owes $189,000 across 12 cards, all maxed out. Monthly interest, $3,000. Pages 21 to 34, new personal loans opened in the last 3 months, all in Gage's name only. Total, $142,000. Each listed for home renovation or business equipment. No renovations started, no equipment purchased. Bank statements show the funds moved to Tegan's personal account the same day. Pages 31 to 38, screenshots of messages between Tegan and a loan officer. She had used Gage's phone while he was at work. One exchange stood out. Tegan, just tell them my husband makes $120K at the dealership. They won't check. Loan officer approved. Pages 39 to 42, social media review. Private Instagram stories about an upcoming 7-figure seed round, photos in front of houses she doesn't own, captions about building an empire, all hidden from Gage. I read every page twice. Dad must have hired the investigator right after the wedding. 6 months of watching quietly. 6 months of sitting at Sunday dinners while Tegan smiled across the table. I reread his note. The handwriting shook more near the end, like he wrote it quickly before he lost his nerve. My phone stayed silent all night. No calls from Gage, no threats from Tegan. The group chat went quiet too, likely because my parents didn't know what to believe. I poured a glass of wine, sat on the couch, and opened my laptop. First, I emailed Maverick Whitaker. The investigator had included his contact information. Subject, Tegan Ashford. Body, I have the full report. I know what she did to you. I need 5 minutes tomorrow night. Name your price. He replied in 6 minutes. No charge. Tell me when and where. Next, I checked the property records for Gage and Tegan's house. Carry address. 3 bedrooms, built 2018. Deed shows my name only. I bought it 4 years ago, so Gage wouldn't stress about rent while figuring out his career. The title never changed. Mortgage in my name. Payments pulled automatically from my account. I logged in and turned off autopay. Then I drafted an email to my real estate attorney for Monday morning. Subject, begin formal notice to vacate, 30 days. I closed the laptop, picked up Dad's note, and ran my thumb over the ink. He hadn't asked me to repair anything. He hadn't pleaded. He simply handed me the truth and trusted I would act. For the first time that day, I felt calm. Tomorrow was Sunday. The BBQ was still 24 hours away, and I already knew how it would end. Sunday evening, around 9 p.m., my SUV pulled into the driveway of the Carey house. I left the engine running and the headlights on. Maverick stepped out of the passenger seat, tall, quiet, carrying a thin manila folder. He had landed at RDU 2 hours earlier on the last flight from Atlanta. I paid for the ticket. He still refused cash. Gage opened the door before we reached the porch. Palmer, what are you doing here? I walked past him into the living room. Tegan sat on the couch in yoga pants and an oversized hoodie, scrolling her phone. She looked up and froze. Maverick followed me inside and closed the door. Tegan's face drained. Mav. The word barely came out. He didn't smile. Hey, Tegan. Gage looked between us, confused. Who is this? I answered. Maverick Whitaker, her first husband. Tegan jumped to her feet. What is this? An ambush? Sit, I said. She didn't. Gage did. Maverick set the folder on the coffee table and opened it. Bankruptcy petition, court stamped 2022, 8 maxed cards, a foreclosed Buckhead house, his signature next to hers throughout. Then he placed his phone face up, showing screenshots of messages from Tegan 2 years earlier. Sign the new cards, baby. It's temporary. Once the business takes off, we'll pay it back. Promise. Stop worrying. The bank won't notice. Gage stared at the screen like he couldn't process it. Tegan finally spoke. That was years ago. I was young. I made mistakes. You drained him completely, I said. Then moved on. Gage turned to her. Tegan? She spun toward him. She's lying. She wants to tear us apart because she's jealous. Maverick spoke quietly. I lost everything. House, credit, and savings. She told me the same story she's telling you now. Almost word for word. Tegan lunged for the phone. Maverick pulled it back. I reached into my bag and set one document on top of the bankruptcy file. The deed to the house we were standing in. Filed 2021. Owner, Palmer Whitlock. Sole name. No mortgage under Gage. No cosigners. Gage read the first line and went pale. I kept my tone even. I bought this place 4 years ago so you wouldn't stress about rent. Title never changed. Mortgage stays under me. Insurance too. Tegan laughed once, sharp and uneven. She said, You're bluffing. You wouldn't throw your own brother out. I replied, I already turned off autopay on the mortgage this morning, and I've removed my name from every account, loan, and application you used. Gage stood slowly. Palmer, you can't do this. I can, and I have. All financial support ends tonight. The house is mine. You have 30 days to move. Tegan stepped toward me, finger raised. You're unbelievable. You think you can just let Maverick come between us? Don't. She stopped, visibly frustrated. Gage's voice shook. You're destroying my marriage. You're ruining my life. I said, no, she did that the moment she decided to treat you the same way she treated him. Tegan's eyes filled with tears, though it was unclear whether it was sincere. Gage, don't listen to them. Gage looked from her to the deed, then to Maverick's bankruptcy documents still on the table. He didn't speak. I took my keys. Your 30 days start tonight. Maverick walked with me to the door. As I stepped outside, Tegan yelled, This isn't over. Gage's voice followed, smaller than I'd ever heard it. Tegan, is any of this true? The door shut behind us. I drove Maverick to his hotel, thanked him, and headed home in silence. My phone stayed quiet the entire drive. At 11:47 p.m., Gage began calling. He didn't stop until sunrise. 57 missed calls, 219 texts. Palmer, please answer. I'm begging you. She's packing clothes. You're making us homeless. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're my only sister. Please don't do this to Mom and Dad. I didn't answer once. The phone stayed face down, screen lighting the ceiling every 30 seconds. Monday at 7:59 a.m., I walked into the office, opened my laptop, and sent the email my attorney had drafted. To Gage Whitlock, Tegan Ashford Whitlock, from Palmer Whitlock via Reynolds & Associates. Subject, formal termination of financial support and 30-day notice to vacate. 3 straightforward pages. Paragraph 1. All direct and indirect support ends immediately. Paragraph 2. The residence at 1427 Bellwood Lane, Cary, NC, is solely titled to me. Occupancy permission revoked. Paragraph 3. You have 30 days to remove your property. Day 31 triggers eviction. Paragraph 4. Any damage, removal of fixtures, or lien attempts will lead to civil and criminal action. Sent at 8:14 a.m. Read by both at 8:16 a.m. Tegan replied at 8:29 a.m. Subject, termination. Nice bluff. Saddest attempt I've seen. You're not throwing your brother out. See you at the BBQ tomorrow. Can't wait to watch you explain this meltdown to your parents. I forwarded her email to my attorney. Proceed without delay. At 9:05 a.m., Wells Fargo's Fraud Recovery Department emailed Gage and Tegan, copying me. Subject, pre-litigation demand, fraudulent loan application WF 20257174. Amount attempted, $480,000. Demand for $11,400 in fees and damages within 90 days. Failure will result in a civil suit and referral to the State Attorney General for felony identity theft. I forwarded the message to Tegan without comment. She replied within 9 seconds, You went to the bank? You're insane. Then, Gage is having a breakdown. Then, you're dead to both of us. Gage resumed calling at 9:22 a.m. I declined each call. By noon, the family group chat was in chaos. Mom, Palmer, what is this lawyer email? Mom again. You cannot do this to your brother. Dad, call me immediately. Gage, she's trying to make us homeless. Aunt Linda, this is not Christian behavior. I muted the chat and turned on Do Not Disturb. At 2:17 p.m., my attorney confirmed the notice had been hand-delivered. Tegan signed at 1:59 p.m., giving the camera a middle finger. At 4:11 p.m., the mortgage servicer confirmed auto pay permanently canceled, manual approval required. At 6:27 p.m., Tegan created a new group chat titled Family Meeting and added me, Gage, my parents, 2 uncles, and 3 cousins. Tegan. Everyone needs to see what Palmer is doing to her own family. Attached were the attorney letter and Wells Fargo's demand. Palmer, this has gone too far. Dad, we are talking tomorrow. Gage, she's ruining us. I left the chat without replying. At 8:52 p.m., the concierge buzzed. Ma'am, a Mr. Gage Whitlock is downstairs. Says it's urgent. Tell him I'm not available. Security footage showed him pacing the lobby for 23 minutes before walking back into the rain. By midnight, I had 289 new messages and 71 missed calls. I ignored all of them. The next day was Memorial Day. The barbecue was still set for 2 p.m., and I already knew what I planned to bring. At 1:58 p.m., I pulled into my parents' driveway in Durham. The backyard smelled of charcoal and ribs. Country music played across the fence. Aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, everyone talking and laughing with red cups in hand. Tegan stood beside Dad at the grill, wearing a white sundress and hat, flipping burgers like she belonged there. Mom saw me, hesitated for a moment, then smiled wider and waved. Palmer, you made it. I walked through the gate, across the grass, and stopped at the long picnic table covered in a red checkered cloth. No one noticed the manila folder until I set it down between the potato salad and baked beans. Conversation faded. I opened it and laid the documents in a straight line. First, the original deed to the Carey house, my name only, recorded 2021. Second, the 30-day notice Tegan signed yesterday. Third, the mortgage statement showing the missed payment and the acceleration clause triggered. Fourth, Wells Fargo's pre-foreclosure notice dated this morning. Fifth, Maverick's 2022 Chapter 7 discharge, each page showing Tegan's signature beside his. Gage dropped his plate. Coleslaw splattered across the patio. Mom covered her mouth. Dad froze mid-turn with the grill tongues. Tegan laughed loudly, strained. What is this? A joke? Gage stumbled forward and fell to his knees. Palmer, please. I'll fix this. I'll leave her. Just don't do this in front of everyone. I looked at him. You had 30 days. You spent them lying. Tegan stepped closer, face flushed. You're doing this today? You're unbelievable. Mom finally spoke. Palmer, sweetheart, we can discuss this inside. No, I said. Everyone deserves to see who they've been defending. Dad stared at the bankruptcy documents. Tegan, is this true? She rolled her eyes. That was years ago. People change. Gage was crying, hands gripping my jeans. I didn't know. He said, I swear I didn't know everything. I care about her. Please, Palmer. I stepped back, and his hand dropped. Tegan continued, You're jealous because no one wants you. You sit alone with your money and your job, and you hate that we're happy. Ants reacted, and the music stopped. I looked at my parents and at everyone who had supported Tegan for the last 6 months. 30 days, I said. After that, the bank takes the house. The loans in Gage's name are his responsibility now. I'm done covering lies. Gage cried harder. You're my sister. You stopped being my brother when you let her use my name to commit fraud. Tegan tried to reach for the documents, but Dad held her wrist. Mom's eyes filled. Palmer, please don't leave like this. I closed the empty folder. I already left. Today was only the goodbye you forced me to say in person. I walked through the yard. No one moved or called out. Only Gage's crying and the sound of food burning remained. I drove away without checking the rearview mirror. 3 months later, the foreclosure was finalized. A padlock hung on the front door. The sale happened on a Tuesday morning. I didn't attend. The trustee emailed the final documents at 11:07 a.m. The property reverted to the lender, and the deficiency balance was waived because I never signed as a borrower. Clean separation. That same week, Tegan faced 3 civil suits. Wells Fargo for the fraudulent loan fees, and 2 credit card companies for balances she accumulated in Gage's name after I cut access. Total judgments reached $163,000 and rising. Her wages, when she eventually finds employment, are already scheduled for long-term garnishment. Gage's credit score dropped to 510. The auto shop he worked at completed a standard background check after 6 months and dismissed him immediately. No shop in the region will hire a mechanic with that record. My parents listed their Durham home in August, accepting an offer below asking just to sell quickly. The proceeds paid off the last loans Tegan convinced Gage to take before I cut financial ties. They moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment. Mom keeps the porch light on every night. I blocked all their numbers, changed my personal and work phones, and had Blair screen every unknown call. Even my mailing address is now a private P.O. box through the company. I never heard from Gage again after the barbecue. Tegan tried once from a burner phone 2 weeks after the foreclosure. The message was 4 minutes of yelling and crying. I deleted it without finishing. Sometimes, late at night, I check the county property records for the Carey house. Status: bank owned. Listing photos show empty rooms. The walls Gage painted last year already patched and repainted in neutral colors. In September, Dad sent 1 letter through my attorney. Handwritten, 3 pages. He apologized for not speaking sooner, said Mom cries when she drives through the old neighborhood, said Gage sleeps on their couch sometimes and hasn't spoken to Tegan in weeks. He asked if we could meet as a family again. My attorney mailed the reply I dictated, no. That was the last contact. People ask if I feel guilty, if I miss my younger brother, if family bonds should outweigh everything. The answer is straightforward. Sometimes protecting the family means knowing exactly when to remove what's causing the damage. No matter how much noise it makes, no matter how messy it is, I sleep without trouble now. The end. Thank you for watching the full story. If it resonated at all, leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you soon.